आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। There is a whole domain of hierarchy, of gradation, of causes and effects. There's a whole domain. We are not talking of the external world. We are talking of within ourselves. So many levels of realizing our hidden potential. In order to realize that hidden potential, the way to go is upasana. We allow our energy to get dissipated in many things of the world. In contrast, when we do upasana, we actually realize how we have greater possibilities within ourselves. In the 7th chapter of Chāndogya Upanishad of the Samvāda, the first 15 sections were all about upasanas on 15 factors, starting with nama and up to prana. Even someone as distinguished as sage Nārada thought prana was the ultimate. Sanat-kumāra realizes that this Nārada has to be corrected, mid-course correction. Nārada has to be awakened to the realization of that which has no gradation, no up and down, no growth and decay, no higher and lower. There is what we may call quantum leap, and that is bhūma. These 15 levels of self-actualization are very good, very exciting. Just like in modern world, there are countless possibilities of so-called achievement. People achieve higher and higher degrees of excellence. They are awarded medals and trophies. World recognizes them. They break records, set new records. They are famous. Their names, their pictures fill what they call the Hall of Fame. Endless are those accomplishments, but all of them are what comes and goes, what actually perishes. Something imperishable, which is nitya, is the goal, is the end of bhūma-vidyā. So we took up sections from 16th onwards. Satya, Vijnana, Mati, Shraddha were covered. These are certain aspects of a deeper attunement with bhūma-vidyā. when we are rightly oriented towards Brahma-vidyā, then Brahma-vidyā becomes ours. Like in the CHৰীষ্টN Upanishad, at the end, the Rishi says, for that Brahma-vidyā, tasyai, the word tasyai in that mantra, almost towards the end of the CHৰীষ্টN Upanishad, stands for Brahma-vidyāyai. For heights of Brahma-vidyā, tapodama karmeti pratishtha, Veda sarvangani, satyam ayatanam. Certain qualities of head and heart, whereby we get truly receptive to the quantum leap. Otherwise, as a thinker had said, all growth in the world is like moving from a small prison cell to a larger prison cell. You are in jail and somebody comes along and says, we will move you to a larger jail room and it is air conditioned and all facilities are available. In the eyes of people in ordinary prison cells, you might be a very fortunate one, enviable one. But from a higher point of view, jail is a jail, a prison is a prison. You are not free. Break the walls of the prison, walk free is a different matter. Likewise, very soon, in fact, in the next class, we will see Sanat-kumāra, the illustrious teacher of the 7th chapter of the Chāndogya Upanishad, shows to us, points out to us, Brahman, which is called in this chapter bhūma. But in this class, the 39th class on Chāndogya Upanishad, we are going to see two more, that is 5th and 6th among 7 factors whereby any Vedanta student really opens up for Brahma-vidyā. So while the 15 factors before were like personality enrichment, these 7 factors, in this class we are going to see Nishtha and Kriti, and there is one more, Sukham. Therefore, Satyam and Vijnanam and Matihi and Shraddha, Nishtha and Kritihi, which we will see in this class, and one more, 7th one, that is Sukham, a general inquiry into Sukham. And then Bhūma, which is why is not one of the 15 which are Upasya, nor is Bhūma one of the 7 which we are presently seeing, which are to prepare a sadhaka for the quantum leap, for switching over from the divided to the undivided, from Dvaita to Advaita. So here we have 2 factors, Nishtha and Kriti. In this context, I must remind you that in the last class, we had seen what was called Shraddha. That was the 4th factor, which really empowers someone to receive Brahma-vidyā. Otherwise, one remains stuck with prana. Prana may be the subtlest among the 15 factors that are worthy of adoration, of worship, and so on. But prana doesn't deliver liberation. In the Shankara Bhashya, there was a very short line about what Shraddha is. Mantavya Vishaye Adaraha Astikya Buddhihi Shraddha. That was the sentence. We wish to meditate, we wish to reflect, we wish to do logical thinking on Brahma. Brahma is the Mantavya Vishaya. And with regard to it, when you have faith, when you have love, when you have regard, when you have a sense of it is, it's not just fiction, it's not just imagination. Astikya Buddhi. And I wish to know. That is Shraddha. Now we enter the 20th and then the 21st sections of this 7th chapter of the Chāndogya Upanishad, where Sanat-kumāra so logically, with such neatness of logic, says, how can there be Shraddha unless one is truly devoted, dedicated? I have translated it as dedication. Swami Gambhirananda has preferred the word devotion. I may give you another couple of words. The word nishtha is about commitment. Is about sustained interest, sustained practice. So let's see at this point the title slide for this 39th class. We have here now Friday, March 17, 2023, and culled from the sections 20 and 21, each of which has only a mantra each. Culled from that one mantra in 20th and one mantra only in the 21st khanda, we have put it here. Nishtha vijidnasitavya. You must have the desire to know, because Gnatavya means you must know. Vijidnasitavya or just jidnasitavya means desire to know. You must desire to know, and 1 in a million human beings gets that jidnasa. Most others are content with the peripheral benefits. They don't penetrate into the heart of Brahma-vidyā. Many are content just talking about Brahma-vidyā. Many are content with writing books. Many are content with giving speeches. And many in this world, after a little knowledge of Vedanta, get busy with increasing their number of followers, number of centers, number of devotees, number of all sorts of organizational stuff. Alas, it is only 1 in a million who actually is totally devoted. That is nishtha. And then in the 21st section, Sanat-kumāra talks about kriti. Nishtha won't come by wishing for nishtha once in a fortnight. Day after day, you must do certain things. By doing certain things, we'll see what is to be done. You will develop dedication. Today you may talk about dedication. In actuality, you are not dedicated. At the drop of a hat, you pursue something else. At the drop of a hat, you even suspend your Vedanta study and go for something which is worldly, maybe a subtle form of pleasure. Not something very gross, may not be so much on the plane of the senses or the organs of action. You may actually go for some finer enjoyment of life, something refined, classical music, not ordinary film music. Or you take interest in some secrets of atomic physics. Wow. Some microeconomics. Every subject is, do not think I have any bias towards science. It's just incidental that I had some science learning. Therefore, in my lectures, I give some examples sometimes of physics and maths. Life has taught me that all subjects are beautiful, important. So many subjects offered in the universities are equally magnificent. And in every subject, history or economics, art, music, everywhere there are very refined aspects of that subject. So words like nuclear physics and atomic physics, and nowadays in computer science, artificial intelligence, some neural networks, these words seem to impress a lot of people in the world, not everybody. Many people don't care for them, but a lot of people are, oh, your daughter is teaching computer science in Caltech, California Institute of Technology, in Pasadena, in the Los Angeles area. Oh my God. Caltech is where so many scientists who have got Nobel Prize are teaching or they taught there. And that's where your daughter is teaching. So this mad world attaches importance to physics and maths and so on. Sanat-kumāra would say that is also in that domain of the phenomenal world. Even if you study Einstein's theory of relativity, where there is a glimpse into the relative nature of the subtlest dimensions of this universe called time and space. Time and space also are relative, they are not absolute. And in the process, not all, but some may get a glimpse of something that lies beyond relativity. It is also in the domain of the finite. So, for the infinite, you and I need to have such a nishta, such a bond with the para-vidyā. Because even Einstein's physics is a para-vidyā only. And really speaking, someone who has gone to certain very subtle dimensions of music or art or economics or history or any such subject. In all of them, there are certain very subtle aspects. In mathematics, there are very subtle, mind-boggling issues. All of them do not belong to this Moksha Shastra. So, you and I need to be extremely careful. Life is precious. Life is not to be wasted away in something which seems to have social respectability. Like your daughter is teaching in Caltech and your son passed from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Or like that in medicine, in economics, in history, in every subject there are some hallowed institutions around the world. For this subject, that is the greatest place of learning, temple of learning. When it comes to ornithology, some study of birds, insects, etc. There are so many subjects. For cancer research, and so on. Harvard, Stanford, in the US. Then like that in France, you have Sorbonne, you have England, Cambridge, Oxford. in our own country, there do exist certain places and certain people, certain professors to study some subject under them is such a great privilege. In what sense? In the domain of Nama to Prana. Universities provide to you knowledge in the domain of Nama to Prana. That's the phenomenal word. And here is the truth Sanat-kumāra is pointing to. Not that we claim to have understood it or realized it, but we are making a qualitative statement. The quality of bhūma is such that it doesn't belong to the phenomenal universe. It is that in which the universe shows and vanishes, disappears, appears and disappears. So title slide says, have increased devotion to Brahma-vidyā. Dedication. It must become a burning passion. Sri Krishna says in the Gita, Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatparaha sanyatendriya. The tatparata is part of this nishtha. Then kritihi is, in order that you get nishtha, you won't get it by just wishing. Day after day, you must engage yourself in such doing, such activities. We'll see what it is very soon. Adi Shankara, though he speaks only one or two sentences on each of these two sections, all the same brings out such clarity. He throws such precious light on what on the earth this nishtha could be, what on the earth this kriti, doing, could be. Already drawing from his bhashya, I have translated kriti here, the importance of training the senses and the mind. That is the doing. So we must do day after day. We must train our senses. We must train our mind. We get opportunities every day, every hour. You have taken a piece of sweets. Your host says, take one more, finish this bowl. You have a chance to say no to him or her. No, say no to yourself. Don't take that. You have taken a piece of sweet. You are a normal person with good health, no diabetes, nothing. You took a piece of sweet. Spirituality is not against sweets, but spirituality definitely is against, or it cautions you against getting enslaved by sense pleasure. So we'll examine that. Now we go to the second slide, where the Upanishad mantra itself talks about nishtha. Only one mantra in the 20th section, Chanda. Yada vai nistishtati. See, nishtha is a noun. The verbal form for it is nistishtati. For those who have a little interest in Sanskrit grammar, tishtati has its verbal root stha. With ni upasarga, ni plus stha becomes nishtha. So nishtha is namapada, nistishtati. It should be not ni upasarga, nis upasarga. Nis, which can become nir. Nir and nis are one upasarga, preposition. Just ni with no ra, no sa, another upasarga. There are some 27 or so upasargas. So nis plus sta, nishtha. Nistishtati remains devoted. When someone remains devoted, then Shraddha grows. Yada vai nistishtati ata shraddhati. Shraddha is noun, shraddhati is the verb. Develops Shraddha. And to emphasize this point, Sanat-kumāra says two negatives. Na anistishtan. Nistishtan is being devoted. Anistishtan, not being devoted, then na Shraddha. Then one cannot develop Shraddha. A father says to his daughter, if you don't study it daily, you won't pass exams. There are two negatives. You don't is one, you don't pass. If you study, you pass the exams with good marks. Like that, nistishtan, na shraddadati. Third line, nistishtan, without nistishtan, nistishtan eva shraddadati. Are you devoted enough to Brahma-vidyā? Ask yourself. Or are you approaching Brahma-vidyā as another feather on your cap for people to respect you? Did you get into Vedanta to send a message to your friend circle that you are on a higher plane than them? Which they may not buy into so easy. They may call you an escapist. That's a different issue. But look into your heart. What was your intention? Do you remain in spirituality out of fear of being called a failure, to go back from spirituality into worldly matters? And people may say, look, he did not succeed in spirituality, so he has opened a shop now in this part of the city. You actually want to, not because of the fear of people talking negatively of you, you stay on in spirituality. What a sad plight. That means you don't have true devotion to the spiritual pursuit, the quest, the search. But you are afraid to go back. Somebody went to Himalayas and then got so bored, he doesn't like Himalayas at all. But he's afraid, where do I go now? If I go back to my little village in Odisha, then my relatives, my friends, all of them won't accept me. So one neither leaves Himalayas nor enjoys Himalayas, one neither goes back to his village nor does anything. That's a very miserable, very pitiable plight. Nishta, nistishtan eva shraddhadati. Therefore, Sanat-kumāra says, nishtatu eva vijidnāsitavya. You must know very clearly what this devotion is, what this dedication is, what it means to be committed. Right? So here we have, here itself I'll quote that one line that Adi Shankara says about Nishtha. Let's see what is Adi Shankara's crisp definition. A short sentence. Nishtha, the Bhashya says, Guru Shushrusha Adi Tatparatvam Brahma-vidyānāya. For the sake of understanding Brahma, that being the goal, that being the unquestionable goal, no two opinions about it, no second thought about it. My goal is Brahma-vidyā. Therefore, however hard this Guru may be, however perplexing and sometimes puzzling her behavior may be, this lady, my Guru, is the one with whom I shall stay, says the student. And the student, he may be 10 years older to his Guru, lady, continues to study, serve her, and try to understand her. Guru Shushrusha. The word Shushrusha is a wonderful word. Technically, Shushrusha means Shrotum Icha. Like Natum Icha becomes Jidnasa, Kartum Icha becomes Chikirsha, Bodhum Icha becomes Bhuvutsa, Bhoktum Icha becomes Bhubuksha, etc. Shrotum Icha, the desire to listen, desire to do Vedanta Shravana, right? That is Shushrusha. But in such context, it's not desire to listen. The same word, in a certain logical connectedness, it means seva, Guru seva, Guru Shushrusha Adi Tatparatvam. Sanat-kumāra shakes hands with Sri Krishna. Doesn't Sri Krishna say, who gets jnanam? Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatparaha. So Shankaracharya should say, Shankaracharya in his Bhashya by saying, Nishta is Guru Shushrusha, Tatparatvam, shakes hands with Sri Krishna, draws from Bhagavan Sri. So you and I need to be devoted, dedicated, committed, focused. Our bond with Vedanta, with Brahma-vidyā should be unwavering. You and I may be into Vedanta for 10 years, 12 years, whatever. After 12 years into Vedanta study, having, let's say, put it as our highest priority, suddenly one day you meet a classmate of yours and you find out she has a wonderful bungalow in a posh area of such and such city and she has such earnings. And suppose a part of you feels jealous, envious, feels, oh my God, when we were in college, I was brighter than her. But now look at her. And to meet me, she came in a Mercedes. Oh, hold on. What happened to you? What happened to your renunciation? If that's called lack of nishta. If you have true nishta, you don't get disturbed at all by your old classmates occupying this position, becoming famous, earning a lot of money, and being close to some, great leaders, etc. None of those matters to you. They don't generate envy in you, or they don't generate some kind of insecurity or some kind of, well, I haven't done much in life, some looking down upon yourself. No. Tatparatvam. So that is all that Shankara has to say. We go to the last slide now. And in the last slide, we have Sanat-kumāra saying, this nishta, this devotion, this dedication comes to you if you do. They wonder, as I already said, what under the sun or what on this earth we have to do. That is where we again take help from Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya, in great, clear understanding and tremendous compassion for you and me, gives the explanation. Kriti means doing. Here, in this context, means doing indriya sanyama. There is the sentence. Kritihi indriya sanyamaha chitta eka aikagrata karanam satyam hi tasyam sati sapta sati and sa both taken to Saptami Vibhakti become Satyam and Satyam. When that is there, some sound we can't have it. Bangalore, suddenly there is heavy rain at this moment. You also may be hearing or you may not be hearing it much. Please ignore it. Loudly. Satyam hi satyam. That means satyam hi satyam. Satyam hi sasyam kratau. Kruti is like mati shabda. You can either say kratau or you can say krityam. When there is this doing, that means when you get opportunities, for heaven's sake, use those opportunities to exercise self-control. Don't say from tomorrow onwards I will be careful about sweets. Tomorrow onwards I will not watch television so much. But tonight, I want to see some movie, I want to see some fun and some entertainment and so on. Then you did not do withdrawing the senses at the right time. You did not put your foot down. Likewise, you are studying Vedanta and the mind suddenly thinks of some pleasant memory of some 5 years ago, and you go on that wave of memory. And inner voice says to you, why are you remembering? Why are you? Just because you remember something that happened in 2017, you don't have to pursue it. Drop it. And suppose you drop it. That is kriti. Chitta ekagriyata karanam. So it is in a way very simple. And wise people have explained it so nicely. Small victories lead to big victories, says Eknath Ishwaran. You and I daily have to register small victories. If you have decided your time to sleep is 10:30 and 10:20, you are not dead tired, but you are a little tired. You are not too drowsy, but you are a little sleepy. Overcome that. For just a little sleepiness, for a little drowsiness, for a little tiredness, suddenly don't change the plan and say, let me hit the bed at 10:20 itself. No. As long as it is reasonably manageable, do it. Walk, pace the room. Maybe you can't study, you can't meditate, you are falling. Okay, get up. And up to 10:30, which is your sleeping time, walk up and down in your own bedroom, in your own house. And 10:30, if that is the time you had decided, switches off, light off, and that is kriti. Shankaracharya doesn't unnecessarily go to some what they call hi-fi explanation. He is touching the ground reality. He knows that a lot of the so-called Vedanta seekers don't have enough willpower. Says kriti. Kriti hi indriya sayama, chitta ekagrata karanam, satyam hi tasyam. That being available, in Hindi you say uske hote hue. In every language there is an appropriate expression for this Sati Saptami Prayoga. When you have that, Nishta Adini Yathoktani Bhavanti Vijnana Avasana. So, whatever I said earlier and whatever leads to the highest wisdom, all these become possible. They are achieved. So, to take a look at this slide again, Gambhirananda's translation puts it so well. When one acts, senses try to take us away. One should act. Like you are driving a chariot with horses, the horses suddenly want to go left. Whereas you know you have to go right. So pull these horses back and maybe whip them a little and take them to the right side. That's action. When one acts, then indeed one serves devotedly. Kriti leads to Nishtha, the previous value. Without acting, one cannot serve devotedly. Why action one serves devotedly? Action indeed has to be sought after. In Sanskrit, double negation. Na akrutva nistishtati, krutva eva nistishtati, kritistu eva vijidnasitavya iti, kritim bhagavo vijidnase. Nārada, with folded hands, bowing down before Sanat-kumāra says, I do see the point. Unless I act upon situations where if I don't act, my senses and my mind, in spite of my scholarship, in spite of my otherwise being intelligent, these senses and this mind can derail me, can distract me. I understand, I want to know Kriti a little more. What brings about Kriti? Why is it we do not act? And the last one among the 7 factors which prepare the ground for the quantum leap in the next section is Sukha. And then comes the pointer to Bhuma, where Sanat-kumāra says, really speaking, the true Sukha is Bhuma only. But even on a lower plane, like in the example I gave, 10, 20, you are thinking of forgetting the rule you made for yourself, and just a little drowsiness, just a little tiredness is making it the bed. Then you know what? You visualize the sukha of sleeping, and you are unable to visualize the sukha, happiness of self-control, brahma-jnana, and realization, those things. If you visualize the sukha of the higher option, then you will act. Otherwise, you won't take the necessary action. You won't take the necessary action. If Dhritarashtra had clearly visualized the sukha of really cancelling the war, if he had really seen the sukha, he would have said to Duryodhana, enough is enough, no war. I am the boss here. But he was not able to visualize the sukha of Pandavas and Kauravas coming into some understanding. He was only able to see the sukha of how nice it will be if Duryodhana becomes the unquestioned king on the whole earth, my son being the emperor of emperors without anybody challenging him. How beautiful, how blissful. So he sees that sukha and therefore continues to stay in his foolishness. So, akrutva na nistishtati, akrutva nishtam na apnoti, krutva eva nishtam sampadyate is said here. And vijidnase, I would like to know what is involved in kriti. Then comes sukha. In this way, the 20th and 21st khandas have ample food for thought. They have great pointers with the help of which you and I can examine how our own journey towards Brahma-jnana is taking place. Namah Paramarashidho, Namah Paramarashidha.